Today's soup is chock full of great items.
A recycled fold-out pocket journal, photo transfers, personalized phones and laptops, and unique breads, all in today's soup.
Today's Scrapbook Soup has been brought to you in part by Michael's Stores Incorporated, where creativity happens. Michaels.com, Sakura Color Products of America, SakuraofAmerica.com.
Well, I'm here with Jenn Mason, who's the editor of Cloth Paper Scissors magazine, and she has a great little mini album that she's gonna make with us, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's take a peek at it. It's super cute and just fits in your pocket. It's so tiny.
Exactly. Well, you know, I love the little tiny composition books, but I wanted something that I could sketch and watercolor in and fit in my pocket or just fit in my purse. So I came up with this idea so that I can travel with my sketchbook.
Cool. So how do we start?
Okay, so great green craft. You're starting with a cereal box.
Upcycling.
Exactly. And each cereal box, depending on the size, can get you 4 to 6 covers. So we cut these out and then we're going to paint them. And I'm not too concerned about some of the background showing here because it just adds a little texture. It's hidden enough so you don't know what it is, but textural enough that you get a little
finger painting.
Exactly. So you're going to cover this whole thing.
And you are using an acrylic paint, though.
I'm using an acrylic paint, a heavy-bodied, like a thinner acrylic wouldn't work. You could use a craft paint tube, and you would go ahead and color that whole thing.
Okay. And when you're painting with your fingers, if you really wanted, you could wear gloves or something if you're worried about it.
And you could definitely use a paintbrush. I just
sometimes it's easier. These are great tools.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah, and it's easy to clean up. I can see exactly where I'm getting it. Okay, so now we're done with that. We can set that aside.
I'll take that out of the way.
All right. And then what we need to do is actually decorate our cover. So I have a piece here, and I like I said, to make it look like a composition book. So I've already started coloring the spine of our book here. And I'm
Did you use acrylic paint again?
I actually used some paint pens. So I used this guy here, and I'm going to actually add another coat. That's why I sort of pre-did this, because if I let it dry, then I get an even more opaque coverage
in
on there. Exactly. And I'm using all sorts of pens here. I'm using just
That's
thin,
a skinny paint marker,
exactly.
I see.
So I'm using this for my flower. And I'm not, you know, too terribly worried about my doodling here. I'm going to use some of these raised gel pens that add little bumps. And I'm going to, and these dry slightly darker, but that's going to add a nice little texture to the center of my flower. I can also add some little polka dots. Again, it's funny, these will dry. They will
dry much more
this
opaque and
color.
chalky, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's always a little deceiving. So I like to have a little test paper where I can
I always
see
like the
what they'll look
dimension
like.
on it, because then you really feel like not only visually is there texture, but actually there's texture.
Yeah. Any way I can add texture makes me happy. It doesn't matter if I'm doing it with bubble wrap or pens or raised gel pens. So I'm going to add some doodles here. And you can even see, so down here on the piece, I actually even layered the texture just to give it a little more dimension. I'm going to turn this so I can actually write, because I'm not capable of writing upside down yet. I'm working on that. So we have travel journal. And then when that dries, I can go back over it with another pen.
Okay, cool.
And when I'm all done, I always like to add a little black. It's sort of the mascara to my piece.
Yeah, I always find that black adds that nice contrast so that you see everything else much better.
Exactly. It's just sort of the finishing. So I would go back around here. I would add, you could add little stitches. I can go back and add some more detail. And that's our cover.
Okay.
Now what we need to do is work on our watercolor paper.
Let's do it.
And you can use whatever kind of watercolor paper you want. There's different finishes.
So cold press, hot press, it doesn't matter.
Use what you like to use.
Is there a weight issue?
There's not really. Well, I wouldn't use the super heavy ones.
Okay.
So I would use 140 or less. It's really what you like to work on. And what I love on this is that it has a deckled edge all the way around. So watercolor paper, when it comes in a big sheet. And it comes with a deckled edge on one side. So what I like to do, I've marked this at our measurements here. And what I'm going to do is just hold a metal ruler. It works the best. And then I'm just...
And the measurement that you use, by the way, is just something that will fit in the cover. It's not
Exactly.
like there's a rule on how big it has to be.
Exactly. All of these you can adjust. So if you want to make a large size journal, you can definitely do that. You're sort of limited by the size of a giant piece of watercolor paper, but that's about it. And now if I hold this metal ruler down really tight, and I'm holding it down at the top, and then I'll move my hand down. When I tear against this, I get that really great deckled edge. So it looks uniform, and I can slide it down.
Because you've got a measurement at the bottom too, so that
Exactly,
way.
yes. I cheated ahead of time and put little marks on there.
Yeah.
So then we have our piece. So that's all great, but now we need to score it so that it bends and folds nicely.
Okay.
So I'm going to give that to you.
Thank you.
So we have our piece here. And we're going to score it, and we're going to use a bone folder to score it.
And of course, it's important to score, especially heavy paper like watercolor paper, so it doesn't crack.
Exactly. You don't want it to crack. You don't want your pages to fall out of your book after you've added all those things. So we're going to go ahead and score. To score it, you make your marks where you want to fold your book.
And again, the rule on this is just so that it fits in whatever the size the cover is.
Exactly. So I think this piece is about 13 3/4. But if you wanted more pages, you would just extend it and decide how big you want your pages and keep multiplying those pages. I like to use a bone folder to score. You could also use a dry embossing tool, but I always have this. This is like in my back pocket. If I had a tool belt, it would be in my tool belt.
It's always the bookbinder's favorite tool.
Exactly. So when you're finished scoring and folding, what you want is sort of your little book and then your accordion fold
that comes right out of it.
There. Exactly. And so I would use my bone folder to
flatten that out and really get those creases nice
so it
and
all
strong.
fits in there. Now I have my cover here, and I've already scored. Actually, I used my bone folder. I've marked the halfway point and scored this, so now I can fold this.
Okay. And that cardboard folds really easily because, again, once you've scored something, it just makes it easy.
So this is super easy. You're just going to stick that opening fold part, and you're going to make 3 holes, and you're not going to poke yourself, which is very important.
Oh, I thought you were just going to glue it in there.
No, you could actually glue it in there. That would be a really simple way. If you don't have, we're using a waxed linen thread, about 12 inches, and if you don't have that, just glue, I would glue probably this back page in there.
And you know, I don't have an awl, I have to admit, so I sometimes just use a nail and stick it through.
A nail is perfect. A nice finishing nail, that is a great thing. And you could also...
oh, you're not using a needle, you're just using your fingers to stick it through.
Yeah, so the great thing, the reason why I love wax linen thread is that it will hold its shape. I can make it point.
Right,
and I'm
that wax.
Exactly. So I'm just sort of doing a figure 8 through these 3 holes.
Okay. And of course, all the instructions will be on our website.
Exactly. And so I would loop that back through. And when we're finished, it ties up
into a pretty little bow.
Right there.
And you could put beads on it or anything you want to decorate the outside.
And if you didn't want the bow on the outside, you could always tie it on the inside. And then we have a finished one with some extra journaling done inside.
Oh, that's beautiful. Let's look at the inside of this. We're just going to bring it up right here so we can look at it. And I see here that you've done a postage stamp, and you drew that?
Yes, I drew it. I like to use just a black waterproof pen so that I can use my travel watercolors. It's really easy.
That's such a cute set that you can use and put it in your purse, right? To take it with you.
Exactly.
Jen, this has been so fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Just look at this great piece of wall art here. It's painting, it's lettering, and I think there's a photograph in the center, but you know what? Kathy Kromer is here with us from Michaels.
Yes.
And you're going to show us how to make this, right?
I sure am. It's photo transfer with packing tape.
Packing tape?
Packing tape.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with the background, which is just a canvas that we painted burnt umber. I'm going to teach you how to write into your canvas so you can leave your message for everybody.
Okay, now you obviously did the center part already with white.
Yes.
But then you added color around the edges.
Yes, so we're going to take a little bit of extender or retarder, it's called both.
Okay.
And we're just going to patchily paint. No.
Right, it doesn't have to be precise, you just kind of slap it on. Now you said you dipped into extender or retarder also,
Yes.
so that retards the drying
Yes, it
process
gives
of
you
the
a longer
paint?
open time. So if you didn't put this on here, your paint would be setting up already and you'd have a hard time scratching.
Right.
So you just
Because it's a water-based paint, right? It dries very quickly.
You just start writing in it whatever little message that you want to write.
And whatever color is underneath is going to come right through.
Right. And then you just continue that. You might want to do some patches of white so you have some white writing come through. And then
And
we
just
have
all the
this.
way around. And then this is what it looks like
When it's all done.
complete. Here,
That's
let me
right.
take that from you, Kathy.
Okay.
We'll just swap right here.
So this
And
is
I'm
what
gonna
it all
just
looks
pop
like,
that
and this
right
is the
over here.
background for our photo. So we started with a photo right here.
Okay. Let me pass you those.
Okay. And we just enlarged it on a copier. Took this little original photo. That I think I did that 20 years ago. Enlarged it on the photo, and then we've taken markers and colored. You just color like when you're a little girl. It's my favorite thing.
Hey,
besides
listen,
painting.
we color when we're big girls, too.
I
It's
love
not just for little
coloring.
girls.
So you just continue. You can change up the colors, make it make sense or not. It doesn't matter.
And any kind of marker. Can you even use like a water-based marker
Yes.
or something?
Yes, you use your marker.
Very cool.
Then here's one that's all colored. And we're going to take now this one that's finished here and add packing tape to it.
Okay.
So
Here, let me hold that for you.
we're just going to lay it across here. I might not have gotten this one long enough.
See, that's all right. Now,
Make
you
sure you
also
can-
mentioned that you enlarged this on a printer. If you're using a home printer, should we test it first before we do something like this?
Test it.
or-
This was a toner based, so if you do it on home, just test it on a small one before you
Right.
go off the inkjet. So you continue this on until you get the entire piece covered right
Okay,
here.
let me take that from you. Actually, we can just hang it right on the side
There
of
you
the table
go.
right there.
And now the trick I learned with this, the first couple I did, I started right in the middle, trying to remove the backing, and I tore a big hole in the picture. So I
That's not a good
learned
effect, huh?
that you're better if you start kind of up at the top so you kind of get the feel of what you're doing. This one I've already started. I'm just going to spray it with a little water, and then you just start to rub.
So you're just soaking the paper on the back of the packing tape, but yet the tape is, I guess
it's transferred. The ink-
the ink transferred.
Yes, it transferred.
Okay, so whatever kind of printer, we might want to just kind of try a few first. I know you said you used a toner.
Toner-based, yes.
Toner-based printer on this.
So you just keep doing this until you get it all rolled off. Now, it takes a while, so it's not something to be impatient with. And there will be time that you may have gotten it all done off and then think that maybe there's still a little cloudy, so you go back. It's better to do it at a few layers than to try to go all the way off, and because you'll pull your ink off your tape if you're not
Right.
delicate
so
with
we
it.
keep just wetting and rolling and wetting and rolling.
And just keep doing, and then you can see that it's kind of starting to be, I don't know if you can see that or not, that it's
That is a
transparent
really
there.
cool technique. You know what, Kathy, let's just hold it forward just a second and then we can see that. Well, actually, the color of the table is making the
Here's one
color part.
that's
But there
finished
you've
that you
got one
can
done.
see.
Yeah.
So I just worked continually until you got all the paper off the back, and you're left with the ink. And so I have this beautiful little photo
That's a
right
really
here.
cool effect.
Now we're going to take it and apply it to our canvas. So I think I will put some gel medium on.
Okay, so you're going now. Do you cover the whole of the canvas with the gel medium and just put the photo in the center, or are you just going to cover it?
I'm just going to cover
where the
this
photo is going to
where
go.
the photo is going to go. So I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to lightly do it here. The biggest problem I think that people have is they don't get the gel medium covered, and then you end up with bubbles. So if you,
Oh, okay. So you have to have a really nice,
needs-
smooth, even surface.
that's right, it needs to be all in there. So we'll do
Okay,
that.
and I see you're using a nice soft brush for that too.
I am. And then we're just
And then
going to
you
put a
also
little
put
bit
it
in
on
here
your
too.
photograph.
It's just to make sure. The only thing that will make you upset, or anybody doing this, is that you get bubbles. So just, it's kind of
But
like
you-
double insurance that you won't have any bubbles.
Yeah, but if you do, you can probably just lift it up and work it out again.
If you get it right away. Now
Yeah.
this you probably have a little longer time because of the
and
transparency.
just put it right down.
So we'll just put it right on here. And then
Oh,
a
Kathy,
little,
that is beautiful.
let me show you one little trick.
Okay.
Just take this right here, a little brayer,
Oh, and that is really going to smooth it out.
and that'll help
That's a
you.
great tip. Well, we're going to take a look at this big piece of wall art that you have down here. That is absolutely phenomenal. I love this.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We've got some great ideas for you today on how to take your scrapbook supplies and carry them around with you. So Julie, tell us all about it.
Well, we're going to start with a coffee cup, or for me,
Okay.
a hot tea cup. Look at these cups right here. These are so cool. And you get to personalize them with either a photograph, or you might want to advertise your blog or something like
You
that.
know,
or
you
a
could photocopy an
website.
entire scrapbook layout
Oh
and
my
put
gosh,
it in there.
anything.
And you know, I
Anything
actually
goes.
made a bunch of these for some friends of mine, and I took our heads, cut them out, and made like little bobblehead people to carry around all the time.
That
which
is
I thought was
cute.
funny.
I'm going to ask you later where you put the bobblehead. But you know what? We are going to make a bunch of these.
Okay.
So it actually comes with a template,
Oh, that's
okay,
great.
in the packaging. But because we're making a lot, I made a sturdier template out of some, whoops, let me get the pen here, out of some chipboard.
So you
Because-
just traced
yeah,
the original
I traced
one
the
and cut it
original
out?
one and
Okay.
cut it out and made
That's
one out
so
of chipboard.
smart.
So you just go all the way around your photograph or whatever it is that you're going to use.
Okay.
And the nice thing about this, everything is enclosed inside, so it is washable. You don't have, you wouldn't want to put it in the dishwasher, but it's washable, so you
take
can
that.
use it over and over again.
And I noticed, are you
Now-
cutting on the right side of the, are you drawing on the right side of the paper and that's going to be okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
whichever.
And it's double-sided.
Double-sided. So why don't you cut this out for me, Julie? And you know what?
Absolutely.
You get stickers too, alphabet
do.
stickers. So you might want to put like Mom on there, or you could write Julie, and then we'd know whose cup it belongs to. Okay, now while you're doing that,
Okay.
there's more. This is a tablet, and you can also get pieces for a tablet. So you, and actually a tablet cover is what I mean to say, and it protects your tablet. Now the difference with this is you can put things on the inside, but also you can put things on the outside, because we're
see
not going to
that.
wash this, at least not as often. So I'm actually going to pull this out here.
Okay.
This would be our pattern. Let me just lay that right up there and take this out, because I'm going to give this to somebody as a birthday present. So we will
a nice
put this
birthday present.
inside like that.
You know, it's funny, I actually
Not
was
the
thinking...
tablet, just the cover.
Okay. I was thinking about actually sending away to one of those places where you can get a skin, but this is so much easier
Yeah,
to just make the art yourself, and then you can change it more often. It's not
Right,
permanent.
exactly.
I like that.
So you put your photograph or your artwork or whatever you want in there, and then you take the inside of it that comes in the package, and then you put that in there, and that is going to hold it in place. So you
Okay.
just push that down.
Okay.
And
And
flip it
I see
over.
here, by the way, that you have a calendar too, and I think that would be really cute to have for your tablet. Very useful.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is for Mom, and now it's happy birthday, so we've already got a glass on there. But you know what? We're going to add just a little piece.
Is it a little slice
a
of cake?
little slice of cake. You know, let's put it down there. There we go. So let's put that over here.
Okay.
Now, do you have a piece of scrap paper left, Julie?
I
Because you know
do.
what? We're going to make something
you
for
go.
a smartphone. And I'm going to cut this 2 1/4 inches by 4
Okay.
inches. Let's just move that right over
I always think
there.
it's nice when you see those pictures. I take pictures in the mirror all the time of myself, as we well know. And I think it's really fun when you see people taking the phone pictures, but the back of the phone is actually something personal. And this would be a great way that you always have like a little message or your child's drawing. I see
Yeah.
there's one there that you in the mirror, and those fun self-portraits, it's always with you.
Okay. So, and again, you know, we keep our scraps and we can put them to good use. Or, like you said, there's some child's artwork here. And again, you're just going to actually put it right inside the cover.
Okay.
Like this. It's going to slot in there just perfectly. And then
Right.
all we have to do is cover the back
That's
of
cool.
the
And you
phone.
can still put stickers on the outside of that too, right?
Yeah. Depends how much in and out of the pocket it goes. So
Right.
that-
Maybe less dimensional
Maybe less
stickers then.
dimensional. Now then, there's more.
There's
you can
more.
also do key rings. Now, you get all kinds of things with this. You get the little alphabet stickers again, so you can personalize it, because personalizing is very, very
I like that
important.
they have the big and the little in the same font that match. That's
Yes,
cool.
that is nice. And then all you have to do is just slide it in here, and actually you get lots of little pieces of paper in with this, so you've got lots of choices right from the get-go. And then you just slide it in, and look at that. Look how it flashes. It lights up.
That
I just think
is
that's awesome.
cool. And you know what? You
Very
can
neat.
always find your keys when they're flashing like that.
Yes.
Problem I might have had a few times.
Well, I heard about that.
And there's one more, right? There's
There's
a pen.
one more. Let's go ahead and do the pen. And again, what a great birthday present, anniversary gift,
I
holiday
know.
gift.
And you know, kids always want to personalize things. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Always, always,
it's always very, very special. And again, you
Yes.
just put the holder on top, add the clip and the top, and you are good to go.
Yeah. So you can bring your scrapbooking supplies with you wherever you go, right?
Definitely.
Julie, this was so fun. I can't wait to try one of these.
Yeah, and you need to try it too. It's awesome.
And we'll be right back. Well, cards are a great way to try out lots of different techniques, and Julie has a really fun, I would say, spring-looking card for us.
I think so, and we're going to actually embellish it with a brad, which I'm going to show you how to make in just a few minutes. But we're going to make a card, and I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I'm going to cut it in half at 5.5 because we're going to end up that way with 2 quarter cards.
Okay.
Okay, now I have a cutting blade here and
Okay.
the trimmer all the way down. See, we've got 2 pieces, and now I'm going to score the center.
Oh, love that you
I
can
know,
score it right there.
and it's all on one trimmer.
Well, the best thing about scoring, I find, because I used to just fold my cards, but then, you know, the paper cracks.
Yes.
And when you score it, it doesn't crack, and that's so nice.
Well, you get a nice clean fold.
Yes.
Okay. Now then, I'm going to cut some pattern paper. Actually, I
Okay.
probably need that arm out right here. And we're going to decorate the front of the card.
Okay.
And so this will be 1.5 inches wide.
And I love those little packs of paper because they scale the prints down, so it really is the right size for your card,
Exactly.
you know?
It's great for card making.
It's true.
There we go, and we'll cut that at 4 inches.
Okay.
And all the dimensions will be on the website.
Okay.
Now let me give that to you, and you already have some. And if you'd like to chalk around the edge of
I am
those,
gonna
Julie,
do that.
and then while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and make the brad. Now
Okay.
we'll start with a punch, and this is a special punch, especially for making these brads. And when you see the shape I cut out, then you'll understand why. So push
Yep.
down and let it fall out. You see
Okay.
all those little spokes on there?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Now
want to
then.
cut those, I'll tell you
Right.
that.
So we have a tool, and then we also have our blank brads, and they come in different sizes. We're going to use a medium size for this project.
Okay.
And I'm going to insert that on top right here. Let me just, I have to hold it upright.
I know it's one of those things when you're demoing for the camera, you can't really turn it towards yourself. Makes it a little harder.
I want you to see what I'm doing. So, and then I'm going to center this punched piece that I've cut out right over the top.
Okay.
And I'm going to press down, and it's going to press all those little petals down. And then we'll pull this part out. I'm going to turn it now so that you can see it. And I'm going to squish in all these little tails like this.
You're just squeezing that rubber
I'm
ring.
just squeezing the rubber ring all
Okay.
the way around. And then we'll just press it as well with my fingers. Now I'm going to turn it back. You have to pull it out just a little bit. And then this is the base of our brad. And I'm going to insert it in the bottom. There's a hole right there for the prongs.
So easy
Put
to
it there,
find.
like that. And then we'll turn this, pull out just a little bit.
And you do the big squeeze.
One more time. And then I'm going to pull this out.
Okay. Oops.
Very good. And then we'll just peel back the rubber, and out pops our bread.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
I love that.
Okay, now let's set that aside.
And you know-
I'm going to put this through, or at least the prongs, through these 2 flowers. We're going
Okay.
to layer them 2 different colors, lots of different colors.
That pink and green combo.
Isn't that
Love it.
sweet? Well, it matches our card just perfectly. Let me spread those apart.
And I have finished this for you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm just going to put this embellishment right.
Okay.
Let's put it right over here.
Oh, that's
like
pretty how it has some
that.
dimension on it. I like
It
that.
does, and it's already
like
done
the work's done
us.
for you, right?
Exactly. Now we'll put it there, and we could
Okay.
add some jewels if we want. But
Something
you know what?
fun, whatever you'd
Yeah,
like.
I kind of think it's really pretty.
And
just like
obviously, these techniques work on so many different things. I know that you have a gorgeous layout that you brought. I can see the inking on the edges of the paper. I can see the beautiful brad that was made using custom paper that matches exactly what's going on. There's some pleating, lots of great stuff. There's a fun banner. That is really a gorgeous
I love that.
banner.
And of course, the brads are in the center, and they come in different sizes too. We used a medium, but there are small ones and
Yeah.
large ones, and also
And you
the
know
little
what's funny?
buttons.
I don't think of brown as a feminine color, but that's a really
That
feminine
is
banner.
gorgeous.
It's
Yeah,
really
well,
lovely.
chocolate and pink. I mean, anything. Well, of course, anything chocolate. Okay.
And oh my God, that photo
bracelet.
bracelet.
Isn't it charming? And there's photographs. Now, the
Yes.
photographs were printed out on just a regular thin paper.
So a thin paper is needed for this to
Yeah.
work. Okay,
Right.
good.
It's
And I can see
beautiful.
obviously pins. I can totally see decorating or for your hair, something
Yeah, a
fun.
headband,
Teens
a
would
beret,
love this.
anything.
And the clipboard is absolutely divine.
I like that.
Although I'm not sure I could take notes on something so pretty, you know? It's kind of
I don't know.
gorgeous.
Wouldn't that motivate us to take notes?
I guess. But that brad, I noticed that in the center of that pleated paper flower, that's huge.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones. In fact, if you look at the banner by the letter A, there's a little rosette right there. And in the center, there's one of the smaller ones.
I see it. Julie, thank you again. This has been fantastic. We'll be right back. Well, we have just a little time left, and so we're going to go to one quick find from Julie. What have you got?
Well, look at this album. It's gorgeous. You thought it was
Beautiful.
my purse, didn't you? But it's not. And you know what it is? Well, I'm going to open that up. There
Okay.
we go. And
That's just held
this is where
together
you
with a
put
magnetic
all your,
closure, it
all
looks
your
like.
photographs. Isn't that cool? And all these embellishments, they all come from the same company. And I was just so impressed because there's the paper, the butterfly embellishments, chipboard. But look at this here. This is 144.
paper pad, right?
No, it's not. See, jumping ahead. It's 144 paper roses because when you open it up, it looks as if it's paper, but when you look more closely, look, they all pop out, all these different
Pre-punched
sizes
shapes.
of roses and everything. And I'm just going to turn this over.
Okay.
Because there on the back is going to give you the instructions
So
on
you
how to
don't
make these
lose them.
beautiful flowers.
Awesome.
It's very pretty.
Awesome. Well, that's today's soup. Look for new ingredients each and every week as we mix up the latest in scrapbooking.
Visit scrapbooksouptv.com for a mix of ideas, a mix of ingredients, a mix of designers, and all of the instructions for every project found on this series of Scrapbook Soup. Create your own recipe for great scrapbooking. This is show 112. A complete set of all 13 episodes of Scrapbook Soup Series 100 is available for $39.99 plus shipping and handling. A mix of designers, techniques, and projects, all in one complete package to watch anytime. Visit scrapbooksouptv.com to place your order. Today's Scrapbook Soup has been brought to you in part by Michael's Stores Incorporated, where creativity happens. Michaels.com, Sakura Color Products of America, SakuraofAmerica.com,